2025 has been quite the year, and like any year in recorded film existence, there have been films that have been really, really good and then really, really shitty, and I'm here to talk about that category. Over there, in the ether, next to the wall that you guys can't see, because boy, oh boy, while there have been some great films, fuck, there have been some bad ones. I'm here to talk about them. So let's just get to it, shall we? I'm John Rentham with the 10 worst movies of 2025 so far. And some honorable mentions as well. All of these are available in full on the Real Honest Movie Reviews playlist as well as my Letterboxd. So yeah, I do actually want to know what your personal worst movie is, because there have been some bad ones. And then there have been bad ones, like as far as indie, there have been bad ones as far as big budget. Gotta be perfectly honest, quite a few of these barely qualify as having much of any budget, but they were so shitty for a variety of reasons. So here we go. Today's the day. The Woman in the Yard. I did mention this on my horror list. Which one? You'll have to watch both videos to find out. Well, actually, you really don't have to, considering which one it's on. But just work with me here. I do content for you guys, and for myself, and my ever-dwindling insanity. Daniel Deadwyler deserved better than this, and this Blumhouse production was dog shit, though it dealt with grief. The Electric State. $300-something million for this? Why is Millie Bobby Brown in so many terrible movies? Why can't she just do better stuff? I mean, what the fuck? This was such a waste of ideas that really, honestly, probably wouldn't have worked even if there were competent directors that weren't just being, having their brains sucked out by the goddamn, brain parasite possessing Netflix executives. A lot of brain sucking going on here. But The Electric State was just, apparently it changed a lot from the book. I don't necessarily care because I just wanted something entertaining. That wasn't this. The Electric State barely had any wattage to get out of the opening act. So then we go to Kinda Pregnant. I hate Amy Schumer. I hate her. I legit hate the fact that this woman exists. She is a terrible comedian. I can't imagine she's a very good human being, but even if she is, she's a terrible comedian. She's unfunny. Stop putting her in leads. Netflix executives should be banned into space without a goddamn spacesuit or helmet for producing Kinda Pregnant. Snow White. This is not Rachel Zegler's fault. This is every bit Gal Gadot's fault. I'm going to blame Peter Dinklage, that short shit motherfucker that said, oh, short people deserve to be respected. So you got people actually out of having decent paychecks, so we got bad CGI dwarves. So as far as I'm concerned with Peter Dinklage, it's a damn shame that the only thing that one of his characters suffered recently was a bad fate at the end of the Hunger Games prequel. Terrible that it was just a character thing. Because Peter Dinklage sure thinks a lot of himself, despite the fact he can't reach anything off of the second shelf without help. He can't climb the ladder without help. I really shouldn't get so upset at short people. Randy Newman was correct, and he definitely was correct about Peter Dinklage. So, Rachel Zegler tried her best. Rachel Zegler can sing. She certainly has some great pipes on her and is a bright, funny actress. And can do some good drama as well. Gal Gadot can't sing, can't act, and better hope her looks hold up because she's not going to be able to get by on her acting ability. Now, Rachel Zegler got a whole lot of hate for wanting people that were innocent not being slaughtered. That probably wasn't grammatically correct, but Rachel Zegler, she is somebody worth rooting for. Gal Gadot, less so. Snow White was just terrible, though, in general. Overbloated. way too, way too badly filmed. It looked ugly and disappointing. Rachel, at least, is going to have more work, hopefully, on the stage. What was this? What was Snow White supposed to be? I did a full rant about it. I'm done. So we go G20. Viola Davis is in this. Anthony Anderson, being a character, refuses to take no for an answer. That's pretty goddamn accurate. And really, really terrible stuff. Homelander himself was a villain, and I would really like to know what the pitch was for G20, because this Amazon original was just so bad and such a waste. Such a goddamn waste of resources. And, one good lead actress and, a few decent other ones. Wolfman. Talked about this on the worst list. The worst horror list, that is. Wolfman. Julia Garner was great. the actors tried, but there just wasn't enough meat on this Blumhouse story. So now we go to number 10. In the Lost Lands. Batista and Mila Jovovich, don't actually know how you pronounce it. But my word, I think it was from Vertical Entertainment. They spent about $55 million on this. And the only reason Mila was in this is because of her husband directing it. Because much as I loved her in The Fifth Element, and as hot as she is, good grief, she has not aged a day since The Fifth Element. Dave Bautista did his best here, but this was another ugly, disappointing movie that just didn't have any good ideas. And, you know, it's from the writer of Game of Thrones, based on a short story that he did. And I don't know what this is supposed to be, but I know what it wasn't, and that's anything worth investing in. And I decided to go watch this. And I drove all the way home from the theater, which wasn't too far, but I'd say about 20 miles because it wasn't playing in my area. I drove home seething about this goddamn thing. So, yeah, let's just go to number 9. A Minecraft movie. I don't care if I'm out of the age bracket for this. I've been out of the age bracket for a lot of stuff. The Barbie movie and various other stuff. Fuck the Sonic movies, because they're more made for kids, but they're also made for video game fans. The Super Mario Brothers movies, same thing. There are movies that I'm out of the age bracket of that I have enjoyed. Then there's the fucking Minecraft movie. Jason Momoa was in this. Jack Black, whatever, he was in his own little world. The kid actors weren't all that great, even though they tried. The special effects were lousy. This movie made a shit pot full of money, and I knew it would. I knew the instant that I saw reactions to the trailers, even before this thing got released, it was going to make a cool $1 billion worldwide, which I believe it did, if not close enough for rock and roll. And they've already greenlit a sequel or two, which will make equal amounts of money. And it is something that people will get invested in. And those that are young kids, as opposed to old kids, that enjoy the game, and even though those that grew up on the game will likely enjoy some of this stuff. But even as somebody that had never really gotten into the games, just as a movie, it wasn't any good. But made money, so what do I know? So, number 8, Tyler Perry's Straw. I did a review of this recently. This is a very recent movie that I covered. And, boy, those gut-bustingly hilarious first 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, I was dying laughing. It wasn't intended to be hilarious, but Tyler Perry, especially for the stuff that has come out about him recently, oh boy, if any of that is true, none of it would be surprising, but allegedly some bad stuff happened. So I'm just going to throw number 7 in there. Well, actually, I'm not going to throw number 7 in there yet because I actually bumped up another movie of his way, way higher. I'm just going to say Straw. Yeah, I reached the last straw when the movie first started, and then unfortunately I kept watching it. Taraji P. Oh, Jesus, Henson. She deserves so much better. Tiana Taylor deserves so much better. Whatever. Anyway, number 7, The Ritual. It was originally going to be another movie, but then I decided to bump The Ritual down. Yeah, The Ritual had Al Hoo-Ha Pacino as an exorcist, and it was bad. Really bad, with bad shaky camera stuff and bad production, and bad all around. Terrible acting. A lot of baddies as nuns, though. Some really, really, a few beautiful women as nuns. I could make some jokes, but I won't because I respect them. But good God. Boy, oh boy, I wouldn't mind going to that nunnery. I don't actually think that's the term, but let's just move on from that. Number 6, Another Simple Favor. Let's just ignore the fact that Blake Lively's reputation has taken a hit recently. I didn't buy that she actually did anything to the star and director of It Ends With Us, but I will say that Blake Lively has been somebody that has kind of been in controversy for a number of years. And even if that wasn't the case, Blake Lively's star has faded to the point that she's going to be, quite frankly, lucky to get projects as good as this going forward. Another Simple Favor does have Anna Kendrick return as well. And don't get me wrong, I fucking loved A Simple Favor. I fucking watched that recently and loved it. It was great. This was not. This Amazon original made me question if the people involved had even seen the others. Even if the stars that were in the other one had remembered being in the original movie. I hated this. I really fucking hated this. I did not like this movie at all. So number 5, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Vanity, Thy Name Is the Weekend without the other E. I felt like dropping some E while watching this, and I don't even do drugs. I never will. But yeah, Jenna Ortega, after meeting the death of a unicorn, was in this. Apparently it was about some time where The Weeknd actually lost his voice and he lost his confidence or whatever the fuck it was and he had to get it back. And that would have been a fine story for a documentary, not for a movie where Barry Keoghan was in it. And, yeah, Jenna Ortega dancing to a couple of his songs. And seeing Jenna Ortega dance and have a whole lot of fun is never a bad thing because she is a bright, accomplished actress. But my God, hurry up tomorrow. Boy, hurry up and end more like it. Number 4, Piglet. I mean, to be perfectly honest, Piglet, Popeye's Revenge, a number of horror movies could have been here. Piglet was just ugly, boring, cheaply made, and quite frankly, nobody involved in this from a production standpoint should be allowed to make another film until they apologize for what they did. So we get to number 3, Valiant 1. Warfare was a really, really good war movie. Other war movies have been really good. Valiant 1, I believe, was done by Briarcliff Entertainment that did My Dead Friend Zoe and other films. And has, I mean, they did Werewolves, which was not good at all. But Valiant 1 is just offensive because it's so cheaply made. A troop, a collection of troops go down in North Korea, and despite the fact that they probably would have been shot on sight for crashing in there, maybe, I don't know, I'm just fucking guessing, they escaped, or maybe they didn't. I wish I could have escaped while watching this, because I can't remember if there was anybody in the theater when I was watching this, and if there was, they didn't make a peep, so they could have ended up being legally in a coma, like everybody involved in this movie was. And there's actually some talent in the cast. Not the lead. The lead actor, whoever said that man should be a lead actor, needs to honestly, I believe one Letterboxd review said, punched in the dick. And I agree. Because I think the director of this, and, the writers, and whatever, should have been punched repeatedly there for basically producing one of the worst, laziest, lamest war movies that I have seen this side of, I don't even know. I can't even remember the last really bad war movie that I saw. Valiant 1 just angered me because it was just so bad. It was literally a streaming movie put in theaters, and I don't think it made a dent. So let's get to number 2, which was originally, by the way, number 7. But Tyler Perry's Duplicity. I mean, what the fuck? If you thought Straw was bad, Straw at least had some talent as far as the 2 lead actresses I talked about. I don't know what... Duplicity was not as bad as the 2 movies that he did the previous year. Well, it wasn't as bad as the goofy one that had the confrontation in the goddamn grocery store that a TikTok video was based on. The name escapes me right now. It really, truly escapes me. It's not Divorce in the Black, but nevertheless. Duplicity just had such an obvious twist and was so badly filmed that Tyler Perry can make good movies if the rumors of something that he did actually turned out to be true. He ain't gonna be making any more goddamn movies. But Duplicity is just an example of him being left to his own devices and essentially being allowed to make just really dog shit material. So yeah, it's dog shit from beginning to end. Number 1, The Rule of Jenny Penn. I said just as much in my worst horror movies list. John Lithgow and Jeffrey Rush deserve better, and the director, writer, and anybody involved in producing this goddamn thing need to apologize in front of really the Geneva Convention for this war crime of a horror movie. And this is really, really bad. You want to talk about just showing that elderly people don't matter, but not in a good social commentary way. Do it here. Just watch The Rule of Jenny Penn. Or don't. Don't support this goddamn movie. Support other Jeffrey Rush and John Lithgow movies, and let this fucking fade into the ether. If The Rule of Jenny Penn is not my worst movie of the year by the end of 2025, I will be surprised. If something beats this, I will be surprised. But we do still have 6 months of the year left. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentland. Until we meet again, happy trails to you.